Good morning, everybody. Let's take a look at our trade plan from last night. We are pushing up a little bit here. Trump is still speaking, by the way, at the Economic Forum. Okay, so looking at our trade plan from last night, we said holding above 88, which is the value high of yesterday, or the 22, which is the value low, holding below that. Inside of it, you're just looking for rotations. Yes, it is a very wide rotation. It's about 60 points, but that's realistically how you'd want to trade this anyway. So holding above 22, look for 88, and then holding above 88, you go higher. And then holding below 22, you extend that lower tail, possibly to 75, maybe 70. Worst case scenario, down to the 20s. Right now we have probably a capital B is the easiest shape to give it. There's a little bit of a spike in the last 30 minutes, probably because of the speech. So you're not really like one directional. You're not really looking for like a overnight fade or anything like that. It's just kind of spiking and going against the pre-market. A little bit of an overnight fade by itself. All right, let's take a look at NASDAQ here. So we said holding above or below 219. So holding above 219, you're looking for 418, and then possibly into that gap fill. Holding below 219, we're looking for 25,000 and around 889, which is old value going back into like December. Give me 1 second, let me post this on YouTube. By the way, the recap video will come out after the closing bell today, so look for it after 4 p.m. And then from now on, we're going to try to have them every Tuesday. And if it's a very busy week, we might have one on Thursday as well. So that will be the normal schedule for that. Yeah, today's going to be a little hard to trade while the economic forum speeches are going on because look at the liquidity. The liquidity is very low because those speeches always scare people, right? They pull the liquidity. So be very careful. I believe, is today the last day or is tomorrow the last day? I think today is. No, it goes until... Actually, it goes until Friday. Never mind. Good morning, everybody. Want a future Tachi Lumir? Let me pin the trade plan. There you go. Keep an eye on VWAP here. VWAP being retested on NASDAQ, possibly on ES if it comes down a little bit more. Morning, Jose. Metis, Trevor, Ordinary, Banana. Igor, Larry, Mr. B. Titus, Estevan, Liquidated, Angelo. Good morning, Ryan, Peter, Roger. Julio, Suzanne, Scott. Good morning, Gregor. Blood, Vanquish, Darius, Roman, Ike, Nitro, Flory. eBay, Chris, Maverick. Good morning, Tamer. Good morning, Adriana, Ken, Ram. Sorry, guys, I'm a little congested today. Good morning, Chuck, Sam, Greeny, Carrie. The NASDAQ is failing the back test of the value of Tuesday. So a little bit more bearish on NQ. ES is still rotating inside that value. You're about halfway done with that rotation. Be looking for around like 88 to finish. No trail flip on the 30 minutes so far. You did have a pivot on the bottom. You do have a 5-minute pivot on the high as well. Still holding on to that 1-minute trail, so short-term trend is okay, but it has a little bit of a rollover here if it does lose that trail. little bit of absorption on that low there. Sellers getting stuck. There is a bit of a rollover here. If it keeps putting in that lower high, it's looking pretty weak, possibly back to VWAP. The sellers are just getting stuck on that low there. They are stuck on that 50 area. This is that rollover getting back to VWAP. That lower high kind of pushing you down here. We'll see if they can actually get some sell pressure down here. Liquidity is still very low. Trump is still speaking, by the way. So as long as the speeches are going on the economic forum, you're going to see low liquidity, unfortunately. Good morning, Adam. Good morning, Boz, Willie. Morning, Fernando. So it's funny because NASDAQ is rejecting this value here instead of rotating, but it's still acting like it's rotating. It's following ES for the most part. Typically, if you reject value like this, like you did here, you would see that lower value. You don't see that here. Keep an eye on NASDAQ here, holding above yesterday's value low would push back towards that POC around 287, possibly back into the value high around 418. ES is already trading inside of that value, and you've already finished about half the rotation. The rest of it would go up to 88. By the way, we did fill in the single prints from yesterday. Good morning, Tom. Intel still continuing, Micron, AMD, SanDisk still going, all the same companies. Trump is done speaking. I don't know if he's about to take questions or not. He is taking questions. Good morning, Joan. DMG, good morning. Keep an eye on that 88 level, trying to finish that rotation. There is a massive node that we have to get through to get there. Liquidity getting slightly better now that his speech is over, but he is still taking questions, so it's not the greatest. I don't watch ZN anymore. I used to pretty actively on stream. But I just watch like the yields now, the 10-year yield, dollar, yield versus the yen, all that stuff. People have been calling for the bond market collapse for decades. For the most part, you're just watching the Japanese bond and yield market because most people say that if there ever is a real collapse, that's typically where it's going to start. But yeah, like I said, people have been calling for that collapse for many years. It's going to eventually happen, but you can't really reliably say when everybody's just saying it's going to happen next month, next year. Getting very trendy here, holding above that 80 MA, 5-minute lows being protected as well. Keep an eye on that 88 full retrace. Good morning, Lucio. Here's that 88 level coming up. Yeah, the problem is, Matt, is it's like every single year, there's always a narrative. There's literally, like, when the Japanese yen carry trade collapsed a couple of years ago, everyone thought the bond market was collapsing then. There's always a narrative. The problem with all these people that are making these narratives is they never are like actually invested. They're never actually like putting their money where their mouth is. They're just like doom and glooming, right? If there's something like quantifiable and you like really see the pattern and you think it's going to happen in X amount of time, then put a bet on it, right? Like try to actually make money on it. Here is that full retrace back into 88. Building a node at 83, just below that 88 area. Possibly front running it. I'm not sure, Mark. I usually buy it on the Black Friday sale every year. They usually have like holiday sales. If there's a big holiday coming up, they might have one. They used to give like 50% off if you do the trial. I don't know if they still do that. You could sign up for the trial, then like at the end they would give you like a discount. It's the World Economic Forum going on right now. Trump is literally speaking right now. So most of the movement is just from the conference. It's front running that 88 level a little bit. They're building a pretty strong node just below it. This level is not perfect because it's using the overlap of Monday as well, which was a holiday. So where is the exact level? If we take the actual level here, let's see. It's actually higher, funny enough. So the actual level is 905, but look at where we're failing. We're failing the POC. So this is the proper profile. If you take only yesterday, if you look at the holiday plus yesterday, which is what TradingView does, it looks like that. So pretty much the exact same profile. It just shifts the value area a little bit. POC shifting to that upper node. So far, it's just a micro pullback candle after a very impulsive candle on that 930. See if that 24 EMA holds you up here. Trump is done speaking. The liquidity should come back a little bit here. We'll see. Let's go back to a higher scale here. Moving a little too fast. What do you mean affiliate? Affiliate of what? You'll need to be anything to join the Discord. You just have to sign up on the website. So we are front running that 88 level a bit here, building that micro pullback doji here. You can see a very obvious balance, a lot of bullish delta on the top, a lot of bearish delta on the bottom, kind of fighting over the middle. They're fighting so much, in fact, they did shift that POC to this candle here. So creating a little bit of a capital B, low volume in the middle. Good morning, Scott. The delta's pretty neutral. It's like plus 700 right now. One of Fables. Okay, breaking out of this micro pullback, there is the 88 level finally being hit. That is finishing that retrace of yesterday. If you want to use the actual level of yesterday, it's supposed to go to 905 if you're not including the holiday. So keep an eye on that 905 level. Uh, 88 is the value high if you include the holiday. If you take the holiday plus yesterday, which is something TradingView and a couple other platforms do. But the actual value high is a little bit higher. It's 905. One of Raj? Turning into a bit of a sweep here, that upper tail getting rejected very quickly. This is basically where that upper node is from yesterday. So putting in another micro pullback. This candle started as a micro pullback. This little portion right here. This whole section down here. Then you broke the high and obviously created a pretty strong impulse candle. But now we have another pullback candle. We'll see if it closes like that. You do have only about 7 minutes left. No, I don't have any codes for Addis currently. The only thing I do with Addis currently is they have a free trial. Their standard free trial is like 7 days or something. I have an affiliate free trial. It's like a student license. So if you go through my trial, you get a 30-day trial, and it's like a full access trial instead of like the smaller one. That's the only thing I have currently. So you have to sign up for their regular trial, then you have to send me an email so I can send your registration over to their team, and then they give you the they give you the upgraded trial. But yeah, that's all I have with them. No discount codes. Yeah, the email for that one is this one right here. Just let me know that you signed up for the trial with that link below, and then just let me know what email you signed up with. I like Addis over other platforms. Well, I use them every single day, so I'd say yes. I don't try like every single platform, so I can't compare them to like every single one. But from the ones that I've recently used in the past couple of years, they are my favorite. Yeah, I think they were in the beginning. I don't know if they still do it. But I know, I think it was it like a New Year's promotion or something? I don't remember what it was, but when you finish the trial, the student trial, they give you like an offer, I believe, but I don't know what that offer is. I'm not sure if they're still doing that. They were doing that for like the first year. If you didn't use my link, it might still be okay. Just send me an email and I'll send your registration over to their team, and it should be okay. I think it's okay as long as you didn't use another affiliate's link, because they don't want to steal you from another affiliate. But if you just signed up normally without an affiliate, they can probably tie you to my account. But they don't want to steal you from somebody else. Holding on to that 24 EMA, kind of turning into a vertical distribution at this point. A lot of slop, a lot of chop, but it's still slowly going up. Yeah, if you signed up manually, that should be fine. So just let me know what email you signed up with and I'll send it over. And that email is the same if you guys have signed up for Apex. Next week, I'm going to be asking you guys for those receipts. Actually, I might use the giveaway email for that one. That one's a little bit easier. But the admin email, if you guys need access to the OTS indicator, the Momo indicator, and the bots, if you signed up for Apex using the brew code, we have a 60-day trial that you get. You get 60 days to use those indicators to help you get funded on those accounts. So if you guys need access to that, just send me your most recent receipt that you used the code BREW for, and then just let me know what your TradingView username is. And I'll get you guys added to those indicators. If you don't know what they are, it's these ones over here. So like the Momo is at the bottom. The OTS is the one that has the pivots and whatnot. And then the bot is right here. The bots as well. That's something we've been doing with Apex since we started with Apex back like, whatever, 2-3 years ago. If you guys need that trial, just let me know. And by the way, I think their 80% off ends today. So if you guys want to use that code, it's 80% off and $35 resets right now. I don't know if they'll extend it because they already extended it 1 week. Actually, it might be tomorrow. Sorry, today's Wednesday. I think it expires tomorrow. Let me double check. Sorry, it's tomorrow. The sale ends tomorrow. Anyway, to purchase your template, I don't sell my template. It's just a part of Discord. So if you're a Discord member, well, technically you have to buy Discord, but I don't sell the template. But if you're in Discord, it's in the settings and templates channel. And then I don't have the file, but I did show most of my settings on the order flow video. If you watch my Becoming an Apex Trader series, it's on the order flow video. It's not like every single little setting, but it's most of the big stuff. Yeah, just email me what email you registered with to the admin one, and I'll send it to their team. And it usually takes their team like a couple of days, and then they get your they get it extended. First, got to make some profits before joining Discord. That's kind of the point. Like the point is, I want people to watch the stream, watch the videos, go through the free content, learn as much as they can, and then obviously, if you are ready for the next step, then join the Discord. If you join the Discord right away, it's just going to be a bit overwhelming. And even for like the tutoring that I do, you have to have a basic understanding of these concepts for me to be able to like help you, for me to be able to get you to that next step. So you need to watch those videos anyway. It's really hard to start from scratch because the tutoring is only about 45-minute sessions. So there's not enough time for me to like constantly teach these topics in full detail. So I want people to go through the free content before joining anyway. That's why I have so much free content, right? Keep an eye on that value high of yesterday. It's around 905. If they do continue to break this little micro pullback here. Little micro pullback candle, just a standard bell curve. You need to see if it holds value above the high or below the low. You can take a look at everything on the website. It's oasistrading.io. It has all the tutoring there, all the Discord stuff, the indicators. Here's that 30-minute pivot coming up at 95. You're also in a 30-minute pinch to the buy side. You have been for about 5 candles. It's a pretty strong uptrend, but it is a bit of a vertical distribution on the lower time frames. You guys on the East Coast, a big storm coming this weekend. Especially if you guys are in Virginia or New York, we're getting like a foot or two. It shouldn't impact my stream on Monday. I should be okay. Knock on wood. But yeah, it's the biggest storm we've had in a long time. The problem is it's going to be absolutely freezing, so it's going to be like an ice storm. I think it's going down to like 5 degrees or something. It would only affect my stream if my power goes out, but we'll see. I think most of it is like Sunday. $30 Celsius, yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot lower here. I don't know what it'd be in Celsius, but it's like what? It'd be like negative, I believe. Yeah, it'd be negative 15. Intel's still ripping. Yeah, it's doing really well. If you guys are still holding shares from way back when we traded that at, what was it, 20? It was like 24. The long term on that is really good. It's like the Rivian trade. The short term, it's pulling back pretty hard right now, but the short term target was perfect. The short term target around like 22 to 23. The long term is still looking for much, much higher if you guys are holding that for like a year plus. Same thing with American Eagle. Short term was really good. Long term still good as well. Short term, we were getting out of that around like what, 18 to 20. We got in at 13 to 12. Long term on that one would be, let me see, probably around the high 30s, 35 to 39. And I think that was it for the ones that we were covering on stream. American Eagle, Intel, Rivian. I might be forgetting one. I feel like there was one more, but I can't think of it. Hey, Titus, happy early birthday, man. Little breakout on the upper tail here. Needs to stay above 93 to create single prints. So if they don't repair that candle, you will have single prints coming back down. Very early to say that though, so we'll see. Here is that actual value high, the value high of yesterday, coming up at 905. NASDAQ finished the retrace of yesterday. Doesn't matter if you use the combined or the actual day, they're both finished. Now possibly pushing into that gap, going back to 640, maybe 680. The worst case scenario that we talked about is obviously not playing out. We talked about the yesterday we had all that bullish delta coming in, and the vast majority of that delta was being absorbed. So worst case scenario, once you close that day, because we got a little bit of a closing spike, but not much. But once you close that day, worst case would be a squeeze, right? Where the buyers give up, you don't see that delta coming in. And then you start seeing a massive amount of bearish delta coming in to squeeze out that bullish delta. Now that would have been if we were holding below like Tuesday's lows, which we obviously did not. So that worst case scenario has obviously not played out. The bullish delta is still coming in. So those buyers are still in control here, delta-wise. You almost had a little bit of a squeeze on the pre-market. It went from plus 4,000 to minus 4,000. Ken, so if you're changing the TradingView name for the indicators, just send me, if you're a Discord member, just message me on Discord and tell me what your old name was so I can remove it, and then tell me what your new name is, and I'll just add your new name. You can only have one account have access to the indicators for your Discord membership, so as long as you remove the other account and put the new one on, it doesn't make a difference. What, Michael? Still holding on to that ADMA, so not as much of a vertical distribution now. It's actually getting pretty aggressive to the buy side now that we're starting to push through that value of Tuesday. Keep an eye on that 93 level. If it stays up here on this node, it's going to create a couple of single prints going down. We had single prints yesterday, but they did get filled in. The dotted line is the session VWAP, the one that starts the day before. And the solid one is the new one. Starting to enter the gap on NASDAQ. So anything above where we are, around like 480, going up to 680, is that gap from, what day was that, Friday? ES is not near the gap yet. It has to go back to 935. Then above that is the gap. A pretty solid trend on the 5-minute. 5-minute lows being protected almost the entire day. There's a couple of breaks here and there, but realistically, looking at that chart, none of those breaks are solid. They're doing a really good job building nodes as they are pushing up. They're actually finding value. What's up with the ads? I have no ads running. You shouldn't be getting any ads. If you're getting ads, there's something wrong on your YouTube. Hey, Ike, have a good day, man. This be a thin profile? Yeah, you could consider this a thin or trend profile. Once it gets past like 2 major nodes, you're kind of trending, as long as it's going in one direction, obviously. Possible single prints down to 93, 30-minute close getting very close. You got, what, 9 minutes? Hey, Scott, have a good day. Still just rotating this top node. It's a little bit of absorption. The buyers are getting stuck with those block trades. It's not too bad though. Yeah, the ATR that I show is usually on the 5 minute. Right now our 5 minutes about 6 points. Our 1 minute is about around 3 points. Our average has been pretty low recently compared to last couple of months. The average was pretty high back in November, around like 30 points. Now we're like 17. Yeah, it's really high in November. December wasn't too bad. It's around 10 points. We're just barely below December. Now you can do that on other time frames as well. It's just kind of looking at like how extended something is. Like if it's really far away from a short-term average, it's probably a bit extended. Austin, you would kind of consider it finished already because we're already trading lower value. Even though we didn't like test that level, we're already trading below it. But you could look for like a standard retrace on the way back up, which would be the same thing. Single prints are nearly about to form. We have, what, 2 minutes left. You got 93, 1, 2, 3. It's about 6. You'll probably have about 5 or 6 single prints here. Yeah, it should be on either the order flow video on the Apex series or on the order flow playlist. There's a couple of videos on that one. There are the single prints going down to 93. Keep an eye on those 5-minute lows in that 24. The trend is still pretty stable right now. Slowly filling in the single prints. You've got 4 remaining. It has to lose that 24 to fill them in. I'm mostly ES. There's a little bit of NASDAQ, but it's mostly ES. Okay, here's that single print fill-in. Probably going to grab that next one. There's 2 left. It's a little bit of a rollover. It's more like a rollover in just like momentum. It's not like a very solid rollover top. The high is not as high as you would like it to be. Still 2 single prints going down to 93. This is the high from yesterday morning, that 10:30 high getting tested here. There are no single prints besides the ones that are showing on my chart. So if there's any single prints below that, they're not actual. Possibly from pre-market maybe, but I don't look at pre-market. The buyers aren't too weak here. It's mostly just they're allowing it to go down to fill in those single prints. But they're not allowing it so much anymore. They're starting to build a pretty strong node on that 99 level. Too many buyers coming in here. They're not allowing it to finish that single print. They're going to leave those open for now. Reclaiming this really strong node pretty quickly. Might shift that POC back up. There's the POC shift. Failing right after shifting that POC up. So the sellers are still protecting that 905. And if you remember, what's that 905 level? That's the exact value high of yesterday if you don't include the holiday. So if you just look at yesterday, value high is 905, almost to the tick. The one on TradingView is including the holiday because they do that because their system can't figure out when this is closing because it's not actually closing on the proper time. It doesn't change it very much. You can see the volume is nearly identical, but the value high shifts. Still looking for those single prints. You might grab another one here. You are getting pretty bottom heavy on Delta. A lot of bearish Delta on this 900 to 97. One single print left. Still pretty bottom heavy on Delta here. Always that last single print. It's always the hardest to fill in. They really fight over that one. Still not seeing any like significant breaks of these 5-minute lows. Obviously, we have this very slow trend break. We don't have any solid candles like these ones that created the uptrend. Probably the most bottom heavy candle we've seen. We had a little bit of a bottom heavy candle when we started the opening candle, and that got absorbed very quickly. Very bottom heavy on delta, a lot of delta on that low, and then it just shot up and squeezed them out. Same thing on this candle, you had a lot of delta on that low, but that was more of a balance. So that was kind of okay. Same thing, kind of squeezed them out. This candle, definitely not a balance. It's very obviously bearish. A lot of bottom heavy delta. Just need one little push and it should finish that single print. NASDAQ rejecting that gap fill so far. That's the first major test of that gap fill. Basically, since it was formed, you didn't really have a test here. You almost had a test on these highs, but they failed very quickly. What do you mean heavier volume on the downside? You mean like on the candle itself? Because on the day, the volume is the POC is on the high of day, so the volume's pretty high up here. We don't know what's happening right now until that single print is filled in. Is it just a single print fill in, or is it actually going to go down? We need to see if it builds anything below 92. And then even if it does build below 92, you've got a really big node at 82 that it does need to get through. All right, guys, we're going to close up the stream here. If you guys can get it over 100 likes, we'll do another giveaway as we've been doing past week or so. For Apex, we'll do an Apex account giveaway. If you guys are heading out, enjoy the rest of your day. I will be streaming tomorrow, same time as always. Hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. If you want to support the channel even further, you can use code BREW on Apex. I believe it's 80% off right now with $35 resets. You could also use the Addis link down below for a free trial if you want to check them out. There's also a Discord link down below as well. We need less than 10 more likes here and we'll get that giveaway going. Keep an eye on that single print. Very close to being filled in. Like I said, if you stay below the single print, then you can start looking lower. But if we hit the single print, then immediately find buyers, then it's probably just going to keep going up. There's that single print, so they are finally filled in. Okay, we did break 100. I appreciate you guys. Let me go ahead and get that ready. All right, same as always, we're going to do a random number 1 through 50. Just pick a random number 1 through 50. Pick one number. If you pick multiple, I'm just going to delete your messages. If you guys tie, we will do a tiebreaker. This is going to give you a promo code. You can put it in on any size Apex account. You just basically sign up like you would normally and then put in the promo code. It makes it free for 30 days. And then it will start charging you after that. So make sure to go back to the brew code if you do not pass it within that 30 days. If we do stay below these single prints, keep an eye on VWAP. VWAP coming up at 82 and then 66. Not exactly a rollover top, but we have that kind of same formation. It's definitely rolling over in momentum. Keep an eye on VWAP on NASDAQ, 340, 263. Those are the obvious targets on the downside. If and only if we can stay below this single print level here, which was around 92. Oh yeah, pick a number 1 through 50, 1 through 50. A lot easier than doing the 1 through 100. I'll give you guys another minute or so. If you guys are heading out, I appreciate you being here. We'll be doing more giveaways for the rest of the week and possibly next week. I think I only have a couple of codes left, so I do need to see if they want to give me some more codes. All right, I'll give you guys about 30 more seconds. All right, good luck, guys. Lucky number 8. We do have an 8. We do have 2 8s. If I miss your number, just type in chat that you won, and I'll double check your chat history. So right now I have Dawn's, I have Austin. I think that is it. Dawn's and Austin. Am I missing anybody? I believe it's just you two. Are you guys still here? Gotcha, Austin. Are you still here, Dawn? And Dawn is still here as well. Last chance, did I miss anybody else? Did you put 8? I don't see anybody. I think it's just you two. Okay, so I think it's just you two. We're going to do our tiebreaker. By the way, keep an eye on VWAP. Here comes VWAP. VWAP at 82, 83. Next VWAP is 67. Very quick sell-off into VWAP here. So they are not protecting that single print whatsoever. They filled in the single print, stalled for a little bit. You can see they built up that node trying to fight it. And they obviously, the buyers lost that battle. Okay, so you two pick a number between 1 and 10, and I'll just keep rolling until one of you guys wins. Hey, Chuck, that's awesome, man. Yeah, it's a good roll over there. It's not bad. Like I said, it's not exactly the rollover top pattern that we look for, but it's definitely a rollover in momentum. Austin, you picked 6, and Dawn, you picked 7. Good luck, guys. And it was 6. I think it was 6 last time. It was 6 on the one yesterday, I believe. Okay, Austin, you are the winner. Let me go ahead and get my email for you. There you go. It's giveaway period. Gauge Upper Trading. Is that right? Let me see. Yeah, there it is. Giveaway.daytradertrading@gmail.com. Just let me know you won, and then let me know, or that's it. Yeah, just let me know you won, and then I'll give you a random number, and then type that random number in chat. Yeah, I saw that headline. I don't think that's the reason we're going down here, but it could be. You could make the argument. It was good timing. You definitely could make the argument based on timing. Yeah, Fables, I'm not going to do that during stream. I don't do the email stuff during stream. That's all off stream. But you should see a response by the end of the day. God, my voice is shot already. Excuse me. It's only Wednesday. I've only been streaming for 2 days. Let me know when you send it, Austin. Sometimes it goes to spam. Let me see here. Do I have your email? I got you. Okay, let me give you a random number. And then just type that random number in chat and you are good to go. Keep an eye on that next VWAP, 67, possibly 267. They line up pretty well. Gotcha, Austin. Okay, so be on the lookout. I'm going to give you a code, and then just go sign up like you would normally and just put that code in as the promo code. Just be sure to go back to the brew code before it renews. It will renew at a higher price. But all right, guys, be on the lookout for this push down. You're currently looking for the next VWAP, the session VWAP, and then basically the open. So like the open or the value low for that full retrace. Failing that gap fill test here. They really did not like that gap. It was the first major retest of that gap, and so far, obviously, the sellers are really liking that gap. But all right, guys, I will be streaming for the rest of the day in Discord. If you guys are not in Discord, I will see you guys tomorrow, same time as always. Here's that session VWAP, by the way. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace, everybody.